my fellow friends. Welcome to the program Careers Connect, an initiative of Mr. Rajiv Soni, a chartered accountant by profession. My name is Neelam Bedi Son. I'm a certified human resource trainer. I'm into industry from last 20 years, and I have my working presence in Delhi and Dubai. In the competitive world of today, there has been an unimaginable collaboration among all the stakeholders in the field of education, including administration, teachers, students, parents, and companies, making the software for transfer of knowledge in the innovative ways. It is a great dilemma for the teachers who were experts in book, talk, chalk, and classroom methods. Now they have been trained to meet the challenges of the present situation and go ahead with online teaching. Educational activities are hampered to a great extent, and we could sense a great amount of confusion, the postponement and delay in exams, academic sessions. Today, the student at large are having number of career options that are overwhelming but confusing. Here we at Careers Connect aim to help students to make an informed choice by interacting with top-notch professionals globally. The aim of the talk show exhibits their educational career runs, their step-to-step struggles, and the net result of their career decision, even if made in different time, circumstances, and environments. Now I invite Mr. Rajiv Soni, the man behind the show Careers Connect, to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. The start of Careers Connect was about 20 years ago, but infused with technology, it was in 2014 when a premium school in Delhi NCR invited me to come and speak on several professions. I found it odd and I said I will try my best. But instead, I invited about 20 of my school friends and other friends who were at the top of their professions, including four friends who were in different parts of the world, in four corners of the world, so to speak, and we beamed them in through the internet. This is way back in 2014, and we addressed 600 students of this particular school, class 11 and 12. And then 600 kids broke into these 25, 26 different professions into the classrooms. It was a successful, venture. Today, I will not say thanks to the pandemic, but because of the pandemic, we definitely have much better connectivity, and the digital connectivity has allowed us to connect with people in different parts of the world, even when they're sitting in their bedrooms or in their drawing rooms or in their offices, and it's as if it was just next door. So today, we have the good fortune of having Captain Panesar, an exceedingly experienced and well-known personality in the aviation industry in India, and we request him to speak to us and share his journey, inspiring the youngsters and telling their parents the peaks and troughs, the sacrifices, and perhaps, if I can call it, a pitfall of this industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajiv. Thank you very much, Rajiv. Today we have with us Captain S.S. Panesar, an airline pilot, a dynamic, flamboyant, a rare, and a unique personality. He strongly believes that pilots are like artists who are in the love with the flight. They fly in the air to purify their souls in the sky, and they come down to earth only after receiving the communion of the infinite. He was a director of flight safety and director training for Indian Airlines. He is a third generation aviator, have flown 25,000 hours of flying in DC-3, Dakota, Fokker, Friendship, Boeing 737 and Airbus A300 types of aircraft. He has flown national and international routes covering different countries and continents. A distinguished aviator offering approximately 37 years of experience in aviation landscape, demonstrated success in providing team leadership and development to foster growth and resolve conflicts. He has trained eminent people both in political and professional circles and fields. He did his initial training as a pilot from Government TRG Training Center called Civil Aviation Training Center, Allahabad. He has been flight instructor in Delhi Flying Club for almost 2 years and trained civilian Air Force trainees pilots. He joined Indian Airlines in November 1964 and retired in 1997 as a director. At present, he is working as an aviation advisor come consultant for young boys interested in joining aviation as a career. Let's welcome today on board Captain S.S. Panesar. So, welcome on board.
Rajiv ji, Neelam ji, I'm Carrier Connect. Before I say anything about aviation, I must appreciate your interest in advising people, young boys, who are not steady in thinking and choosing a proper career. Let me tell you, aviation is the finest career to fulfill your dreams of flying like a bird in the air.
Wow.
And, to fly like a bird, you must have seen the geography atlas and all that. You see the countries below, but when you fly 37,000 feet over the countries, you realize that you're going all over the world. You enjoy the life. It's one of the best professions. But for this, you need a lot of things to know about how to get into aviation. There are two things. One is whether you join the armed forces, Indian Air Force, or you want to be a civil pilot. If you want to be Indian Air Force pilot, you have to get the information from Air Headquarters. They conduct examination through Union Public Service Commission.
Oh.
They conduct the written exam every 6 months or 3 months. I don't know the limit.
Okay.
And after that, they take you interview in the board. And after you're selected, after your medical, they give you training in Khadakwasla. And they train you as a pilot. You want to be a fighter pilot, you want to be a transport pilot, they give you training depending on your capabilities they find in the training. And the training is absolutely free. Everything is free. You get a commission and you get a job, which is a very good job in the Air Force. Now, if you talk of civil aviation, before you think of being a pilot, whether civil or Air Force, there are a few important things. The first and foremost thing is the health. You have to have a very good health.
Fitness.
And when you join the civil aviation, you have to undergo a medical test by a Air Force board, which is quite a tough medical.
True.
I can give you the list of those things which they do in the medical. Because I have seen pilots going for an ordinary medical through doctors. They go for training, spend money. When the final stage comes to the license, they have to go to the Air Force board. And at that stage, they are dismissed.
Yes.
They are declared unfit. So you lose all the money. So I prefer, before you think of joining civil aviation, you must do medical to be sure you are healthy, wealthy, and in flying, and you have an aptitude also.
Perfect.
Second thing, for civil aviation pilot, to get a airline pilot, you have to have a commercial pilot license.
True.
There are 4 types of license. One is a student pilot license, which you do it just at the beginning, before starting flying in any training center, flying club and all that.
Okay.
They give you the signal and basic thing. And it's an oral test. Normally they pass you, they don't fail you in that.
True.
Then comes a private pilot license, which you get after 50 hours of flying. Out of that, some solo flying, some instructional flying.
Brilliant.
After that, you get a commercial pilot license, which is given earlier, it was 250 hours, but now they have reduced the limit to 200 hours, where you have to do certain flying by day, by night, with instructor, without instructor, and across country flying.
Brilliant.
So all these things, you do it, and then you go for a test, and you get a commercial pilot license on the type of aircraft you got the training. Once you get a commercial pilot license, then you're open to any airline. Most of our private airlines, they have a Boeing 737 and Airbus A320.
Yes.
Some private operators have single engine or multi-engine aircraft also. They do take pilots and they train you. Once they select you, they will train you on their own aircraft. Most of the airlines, they charge money for training 320, Boeing 737.
Yes.
But there are private centers available in Gurgaon, Noida, and Bangalore where they train you on 320 and Boeing 737.
Okay.
And once you get that endorsement, you are competent to fly the aircraft and the airline takes you. Beside medical, before you join the aviation, the basic qualification is 10+2 with physics and maths.
Oh, lovely.
If you haven't done physics and math in 10+2, you cannot get Indian commercial pilot. That's a mandatory requirement.
That's a non-medical, right? That's a non-medical field.
Yes, it's specific about the physics and mathematics.
Correct.
These two you must have.
Correct.
After you get the qualification and they give you permission to sit for the exams and all that, they train you. We have very good training center. One is the Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Udan Academy in Fursatganj, where you can join when there's a minor competition for that, written or oral. After you're selected, they have certain amount of fee. They take about 1.5 years. They train you on a single engine and a multi-engine. And once you get a license from there, the chances of getting a job in private airlines is very bright. But you can do it otherwise in the flying club, they're training, but their training is very slow.
Okay.
Other method is that you can go abroad. There are many academies in England, Australia, and USA.
Yeah.
Actually, USA, there are many academies where you can go and you get the training, and the approximate cost comes to about 25 to 30 lakhs. And they train you perfectly on 8 months or 9 months. And you get a USA license, commercial pilot license.
Beautiful.
Once you get that license, you come back to India. To convert it to an Indian license, you have to go two papers.
Exam.
One, you have to go written exam about the rules and regulations, and one, I think, meteorology, which you are trained, and it's not very difficult. You pass that, you get an Indian commercial pilot license. And once you, with that license, suppose any airline takes you, if the airline has got Boeing 737, they will train you on that aircraft. If you have an endorsement already in a private academy, which they may charge in about 12 to 15 lakhs. And then they give you ordinary training, they put you as a co-pilot in their airline.
Oh, okay.
You fly as a co-pilot, you gain experience on the routes, how to talk, how to behave with the commercial. There's a lot of formality you have to go, how to see the weather on the routes and all that. All things. And once they find that he has become fit to be trained as a commander, then he's trained again for the command, and they give you training on the simulators. Then they do your checks. After doing the checks, they clear you as a commander.
Wow.
Few things which are very important in civil aviation is, it's a continuous process of studying. You don't think that you got a license, it's finished. No. Because any airline you join, every 6 months you have to go for a refresher regarding the technical of an aircraft and simulator training.
Lovely.
And about weather and other conditions, they take a test and all that. Then they renew your license for 6 months. If you are below the age of 30 years, then you have to go for medical every year.
Oh, really?
And if you are above 30 years, or you have an airline transport pilot license, then you have to go every 6 months.
Okay.
To the Air Force, or they selected some hospital. You have to go there, do your medical. Once you do the medical, you have done your training, refreshers every 6 months. They renew your license for next 6 months. That means you have to continue studying the profession. You don't think that you have flown ACA, you got a job and you're perfect now. No. Next 6 months, if you're medically not fit, your weight is overweight or some problem, they may ground you for a particular time, or they can permanently ground you also. If it's like a diabetes and all that. Earlier, there was a fear that if I have eyeglasses, and they may not take me as a pilot. But today, today the medical science has advanced so much that the World International Civil Aviation Organization controls the basic principles for a pilot. Now, if you have done the cataract operation, you have this thing, you are permitted to fly. I have a cataract removed in both eyes.
Okay.
I am permitted to fly. Earlier, you were not allowed to fly. Because earlier, there was no procedure for implant surgery. They used to just remove the lens, and they used to give thick glasses. And you have to keep on with those glasses, you were not permitted. But now they fix a lens in your eyes, and then you don't have, and you can fly with glasses also. And then they, you know, every second medical, you have to undergo a treadmill test. Every medical, they do your ECG.
Wow.
It's a long process. When you go medical at 8 o'clock, you come back at about 2 o'clock. By all the checks they do it. They give you a certificate, then your license is renewed and all that. So what I mean is you have to be healthy. You have to be, and second thing, an aptitude. What is an aptitude? Aptitude is your love for flying, your
Very
general
important.
knowledge about flying.
Very important. Very important.
You see, general knowledge, what type of aircraft are flying all over the world, and where are they flying, what countries they're landing, what is an airport and all that. All the general knowledge, you have to know it, and a little bit of route flying, where they are flying and all that, which airline and what type of aircraft. It's a common knowledge which is available with everywhere.
True.
Because when you go today, because there's a big competition for selection also, so your aviation knowledge is also to be very important.
Very important. I think you have given an encyclopedia of information. You know, I think this is really an encyclopedia of information what you have narrated. But we would also like to know, Captain, your journey, how you started and how you became a pilot.
When I was a young boy, my father was in railways in the forward area, the Koita, Balochistan. When we used to come to my village in Dera Baba Nanak, we used to see small training aircraft flying. And at the age of about 5 or 7 years, I started taking interest in flying, how they fly, and I started collecting material. And you know, those days the English was not very powerful, so I used to get English newspaper just for spelling, although I never knew the meanings and all that. And today, I have seen many pilots, they can't even speak the English. To get an Indian commercial license, they have a test for English also. There are 6 rating. If you get a number 6, they will not examine you again. But if you get below rating, then you have to continue to go for English test also. Because there are certain crashes that took place where the pilot could not speak the correct English. And the air traffic control didn't understand, and the aircraft had to crash because they were running short of the fuel. He could not tell him. So if you start thinking, then I will start coming back to the aptitude test. Some people, they are scared of flying. That you have to be sure. You have to get into aircraft, or you get into a local flying club, get a joyride in a small aircraft, see how you feel. You must have seen people in the buses to the hill station, they start vomiting because they feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Similarly, I have taken some pilots who were scared of flying. They ran away from home. They said, we don't want to be a pilot. So I mean, that sort of aptitude you have to have, medical fitness. And I tell you, till you retire, you have to continuously keep your knowledge updated about the flying, meteorology, air regulations, and all those things.
Outstanding.
And you can, once you're a successful pilot, you enjoy as a commander, you will see the world. You go from Delhi to Chicago, New York, San Francisco, 17 hours. You see the world below you, which you're seen only on the atlas.
Yes.
No, you actually see the world below you. And when you especially do the night flying, and when you fly over the big cities, you find as a Diwali going on below you.
Wow.
It's a fantastic experience. Aviation is a fantastic experience. You feel like flying birds and all that, you know, and with a speed of, 700, 800 miles an hour. You can, if you go to New York, earlier ship days maybe take 2 months or 3 months. No, you just 16 hours, you're on the other side of the world.
True.
No, the funny part is, I never knew earlier the time changes. The world is wrong. I took off at night at 2:20 when you take off for Chicago. The flight after 16 hours, when you land on the same date at 7 o'clock in the morning. I thought it was only 5 hours, but it was 16 hours with the time change, you know.
True.
These are the things which you enjoy in flying. And, I personally feel this is a good profession, but these days, since it is expensive, you have to have a little bit of monetary background, medical fitness, and your education. I don't want you to be a too bright a student. No, you should be an average student to understand things. It's not a difficult profession to understand. But those manuals which they give you, you have to understand, you have to put it in your mind and use them at all time while you're flying. And you can be a successful pilot.
True.
After that, they see with your experience and all, they find that they test you as a manager also. What is your managerial capacity to investigate incidents and accidents, to see the standards? They make you a check pilot instructor after your experience, how you train them. And after certain test and examiner, they make you a first check pilot, which he does the route check only. Then they make you an instructor.
Wow.
How you train those young boys. Then you become an examiner.
Okay.
Examiner means you check his final approval as a commander or co-pilot.
Okay.
And there are 4 types of licenses which you get in commercial civil aviation. One is student pilot license, which you get initially before starting flying. There are few ordinary books available in most of the English bookstores. You see the type of signals, light signal, RT signal, and preference of, route flying. Then you private pilot license, then commercial pilot license, then the airline transport pilot license. All these licenses are issued by the Government of India through Ministry of Civil Aviation Department known as Director General of Civil Aviation. They conduct the exam and they issue the license. And they continue to monitor your progress. The airline also keeps a progress. Every flight you do, after you come back, we monitor on the computer. How was your flight? You cannot tell lies, no, I didn't do it. It's everything on the computer. So, I mean, you cannot tell lies. You have to be honest pilot and you enjoy the flight. See different countries, meet different people, have different contacts. One aerospace say, what is the advantage of flying? I say, look, see, you see different places. You can choose a boy of your own choice from any country you like.
Good one.
Yes, yeah. So, my opinion, flying is a very good career. If you join Indian Air Force, you have to sit for UPSC competition. You got the they have a 4 days interview in the service selection board. They have different boards all over India. They test you for 5 days. They keep you at the center and they do the pilot aptitude battery test also. There's a machines and all that. On that, they give you a aviation test and all that. If you pass that, then after that, they do your medical and then number of vacancies they select you. And the training is free. Food is free, uniform is free, travel is free. And once you become a pilot in Indian Air Force, whether you're a fighter pilot, you're a transport pilot, you enjoy all the facilities of government services also.
True.
Tell me anything else you want to tell them.
Yeah, and above all, I must say, the uniform is so sparklingly, inviting and beautiful. The white, and you look so handsome in it. I think it's a wonderful profession with dark glasses and a nice white uniform, and you look just perfect in it.
I would like to tell you something about myself. I was very keen to join Indian Air Force.
Okay.
I wanted to file a fighter pilot. And when these boys who had joined the academy, when they used to come in the summer and they put a blazer of Indian Air Force, I used to feel very jealous. I appeared 6 times for UPSC exam and I passed the exam and 6th time I went to the board. And every time I was rejected as a pilot. Because they have a different system of check-in. Then the final check is by a psychologist, and psychologist do his own stupid test, I will call it. He said, no, he can never be a pilot. So when I got disappointed, I suddenly saw an advertisement for Civil Aviation Training Center. But I appeared, I stood first there. I got a scholarship. I did my training free. And when after training, because of the Chinese aggression, there was shortage of air force. They took a lot of pilots and they started training them in the flying club. And I was judged as the best instructor in India for training Air Force cadets. I have trained our Honorable Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. I have trained Sanjay Gandhi. I have trained Maneka Gandhi. I have trained Swami Dhirendra Brahmachari.
All prominent people, my God.
I was flying from Delhi to Srinagar. In a Boeing, I was flying at 31,000 feet.
Brilliant.
And one, Dhirendra Brahmachari has got a twin small jet aircraft, turboprop aircraft for himself. He has a temple near Mantalai, near Kud. On the hillside, on the road, he has made a runway and he used to take the aircraft there.
Wow.
And he was taking off from Amritsar to Mantalai. So I told those pilots on Arctic, the weather is bad, they're cloudy, I can't see the hilltop, don't go.
Hmm.
He said, sir, but Swamiji is insisting. He said, I know the route, I will take you. I say, I can see the thunderstorm also over the hills and all that. You avoid today. Then suddenly I saw they have taken off from Amritsar for Mantalai. You will not believe it. It's so sad. Just before Kud, after they crossed the Kud, hill, and they went straight away, went on a hill. All three of them got killed. I felt so bad and all that. I said, in spite of my advice. So what I mean to say is that never take chances with the weather.
Yes.
Never be overconfident.
True, true.
If you insist me to go, I am the pilot. I know my life is precious than anybody else.
True, true.
So I have to take care and I must analyze the weather, the route flying. Then I should take a chance to fly. In the airline also, we train the pilot not to take chances with the weather. The weather is bad, you might divert.
You
No,
have to
one
be extra
incident took place
cautious.
in Calicut.
Yeah. Extra cautious you
In
need.
Calicut, Dubai to Calicut, one 737 crash. The weather was very bad. It was raining, low cloud and waterlogged runway. He tried to land, he couldn't open up. Second time he got, third time he landed. Half the runway, he couldn't apply the brake. He went off the hill and the aircraft was broken into 3 pieces. But mind you, and 20 minutes away was Coimbatore, Trivandrum and Bangalore. He could have diverted there, weather was good. I don't know what made him, forced him to land only at Calicut. He's not alive to tell us the reason why he was. They both the pilots died and aircraft was broken. So what I mean in flying, be an honest to everything, weather and to your experience chances. Taking chances in any field may not be flying.
True.
Maybe Rajiv is a chartered accountant, he takes chances and gives something wrong figure. The other people are smart to take it out.
True, true.
So we should be honest and all that in our profession.
True. Okay,
But
tell me, is there any difference between the pilot and an aviator?
No. What is an aviator? Aviator is concerned anything with the aviation. It could be pilot. It could be the ground engineer. It could be cable to aerospace. Also, she's also the aviator because she flies. Her duties are also multiple. She has to take care of the passengers in emergency, besides serving food and all. But basic thing for them is, in any emergency, they have to take care of the passenger, how they come out, and any person falling sick, how to take care of him. He's so serious. Sometimes people with a heart attack, we do emergency landing also. We saved lives of many people like that.
Correct. Correct.
So Eros is also an aviator. She is also given a very extensive training. She is also given training if the aircraft lands on the sea.
Okay.
How to take out the passengers in a life vessel.
That is mandatory. That's mandatory.
We have a training center in Hyderabad. We have a huge swimming pool. On the side, we have made a model of an aircraft.
Okay.
And once we declare the emergency, they have to come out and deflate the life raft and take out the passengers and save them in the swimming pool. All airlines, they do this training because most of their flights are over the sea. So they have to be, so she's also an aviator. She's also a lot of technical. She's also undergo the technical of an aircraft. How to open a door, how to control the radios inside, emergencies, and how to take passenger, medical aid. They are given a little bit of medical training also. Some children are born on board the aircraft. Good thing is, if a child is born on the aircraft, can you hear? And if the aircraft is of British Airways, they give you a British nationality to the child. If the child is born on an American aircraft, they give the US nationality.
Okay, how lucrative? Captain, how lucrative is this profession?
Well, salaries are quite good. You spend tons of money to become a pilot.
Yeah, that is there.
But with that also, you get a good salary. The co-pilot, as a co-pilot, you starting from about 50 to 80,000 rupees a month after tax and all that. Because you're paid for flying allowances. Besides the salary, you get the allowances for flying. International flight, the route different. In Air India, they pay 5,000 rupees per hour of flying. And they give you for international flight, they also give you maybe $100, $150 per hour flying. Now the question is, it's a very lucrative job. There's nothing, but you have to, if you are grounded because of medical, and you lose all the money. You only get the basic pay and all that. They don't give you the flying and all.
Correct, correct.
So, and as a commander, you start getting about 2.5 to 3 lakhs a month. If you become chief pilot instructor, your salary goes up to maybe 10 to 12 lakhs a month also.
Oh, wow.
Because you get money for training on the simulator, and if the simulators are not in, most of the simulators are here, but some simulators are like not in India. They go in London and all that. They give you hotel accommodation, food, and stay allowances, and the instructor gets extra money for training. It's money-wise, it's a very good job. There's nothing to worry. The only thing, person has to be medically, education-wise, and aptitude-wise fit to fly in it.
True, true. And what are the employment prospects in this profession?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We do need a lot of pilots. Many airlines have come up, but because of the COVID war, they have reduced the number of flights. They have put some pilots off the roster. Some airlines have reduced their salary by 30%, 40%, like that. So they, but let me tell you what, I can assure the people, don't be a pessimistic. Be an optimist. This thing, Corona cannot long last forever. Earlier, the viruses came like cholera, smallpox, they are waved off.
Yeah.
Now, Corona, it has to go. It will go one day. And once it goes, our Indians are spread all over the world. They would like to travel. You can't go from Delhi to Chicago by Shatabdi. You can't go by bus also. You have to fly.
True, true.
So there are many jobs of flying, but it's only a temporary phase. There will be a need of young pilots. Maybe after 6 months, 8 months, chances are better. And that time, if your chap starts now, it will take 6 to 8 months to get a license. The prospects will be better. But let's not get pessimistic. There'll be no. You have to, and there are people in America and other world who are very rich people. They want to go for tourism. They have enough money. They are just holding on because the countries are not allowing them to come to India. No, we don't permit the foreigners to come to India because of the Corona. But it will go away one day. Our tourism has been affected. You know, hotel industry has been affected.
Too much.
So aviation is also affected now.
Badly affected.
It's not a everlasting virus which will continue. I can assure you that it will have to go away.
Yeah, because one thinks, you know, before spending a huge chunk of money, and then there are no returns, and with the kind of atmosphere it is today, it will take a while, you know, while means 2 years, 3 years to actually come back to normal, you see. And
people have taken hefty loans.
Yeah.
Hefty loans for training, for buying a house, buying a car and all. They are having the pinch of this salary.
True.
They are feeling the pinch of that money, but it will not continue for long. It has to go away, and the aviation will again flourish. I can assure you. Because you definitely can't go to the countries by trains and all that. You have to fly.
Correct. I think the pilot needs to be a perfectionist. Very important, you know. That's one of the traits, you know, which every pilot should have, you know. That is important.
Let me tell you one thing more. One thing, very important thing. I have done 25,000 hours. Yet I may find something funny in the next flight. So you're never perfect. You have to continue practicing. Every flight is a new experience for you.
True.
Don't think that I am a perfect, I've done so many hours and all that. People have, with this type of confidence, they have crashed. They have crashed with this type of confidence. When I was in the 4th standard, my mathematics teacher used to tell me, हिसाब में बेहिसाबे मशक की जरूरत है. In mathematics, you need countless number of exercises, yet you may not be perfect. Similarly, in flying, you may have done 25,000 or 30,000. One day, something will happen which will shock you. And unless you are professional to handle the situation, you will feel sorry. The people will sorry for losing you. So, in this profession, continuous study is required.
True. Okay, one last question to you. What advice you would like to give it to the parents and the children regarding the profession? Quick answer, sir. We are losing time.
Well, parents should not, if the pilot, a boy has an aptitude and love for flying, don't discourage him. Unless you have a shortage of money and your funds and all that. But today you can take loans. The government can give loans for doing training abroad.
True.
Do not discourage the man. My mother, my relations said, don't send him for flying. He might get killed and all that. My mother said, no, he loves flying. Let him go. Nobody to discourage him. She knew that I'm from 4th standard. I'm only talking aeroplane. I want to fly. I want to do it. So she encouraged. She was on my back to encourage me for flying.
Very nice. Very nice.
I know the parents should not discourage a boy if he has an aptitude, medically fit, intelligent. Let him fly. Tell me anything else.
This comes to the end of the program. Thank you so much for coming. You've been such a delight for this program. I wish we had the more time to talk to you, but I'm so sorry. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Rajiv.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, once again for coming. It has been a commendable program, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. I pray to God things will improve and all that. Corona will run away and our flying will be again to the full stream.
Right.
Thank you.
Flying will be, there is need of pilots. There will be need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye-bye, ji. Shabba khair. This is Neelam signing off. Bye-bye.